Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome CPAC First Vice Chairman, Charlie Gerow.
Good afternoon, CPAC. Oh, we can do a little better than that. Good afternoon, CPAC. Are you awake or are you woke? Come on, here we go. I know you're all very disturbed because I forgot my mask. This morning, we all heard a lot about activism. And we at CPAC want to help you become even more active and make your voice even better heard by getting really involved. Not just involved, but really involved. So please take a minute right now. Take out your cell phones. Join me with this, please. Click on Take Action on the CPAC app. Find the CPAC app and click Take Action. Oh, you got it. Good. Or go to conservative.org/action and fill out one of the campaigns which will do these things. Ban critical race theory and fight back against the woke corporations. Rebuild and reinforce safeguards on our elections, meaning election integrity. Protect life and defend human life from conception to natural death, and defund Planned Parenthood. And how about placing statewide bans on illegal immigrants voting and defunding sanctuary cities? How does that work? So with your help, we can amplify our voice and build the conservative movement. You know, the woke left wants all of us to be silenced. That's their goal. But we have a message for them. We will not be silenced. We will not be contained. We will not be sidelined. We will not be shut up, because we will stand up and defend this great country, defend our freedoms, promote individual liberty, promote individual responsibility, and ultimately carry the torch for freedom in the days ahead. All of us are going to do that. And I'm honored to be here in the great state of Florida. You know, somehow it's a little better than the cold Northeast this time of year, with Governor Ron DeSantis, who I know you're all waiting to hear. And I don't know whether you've heard, but there's a small group that are boycotting CPAC. Now that, of course, suggests that they've been to CPAC before. I don't know about you, but I never really saw Liz Cheney or Adam Kinzinger here. Maybe I missed them. And they could have held their little gathering in Hollywood or Silicon Valley, but they chose to stay in the swamp, the city where sound travels faster than light. And their little gathering, I guess they probably could have held it in a phone booth, but they're going to be together with their dozen or so great friends, telling each other how they really think the Republican Party would be better off if we left the people that Donald Trump brought in out. Think about that. Their message is that the Republican Party, the conservative movement, the fight for freedom would be strengthened if we could only get back into the country club elites and leave out the working men and women, leave out the minorities, leave out the African Americans, the Latinos, the Asian Americans, the Indian Americans that Donald Trump brought to the party. They'd rather not have those folks. I think we want to be a majority. I know that we want each and every one of those people in the fight for freedom, along with all of you. And you know, you look at their list of speakers. They're all either lame ducks or soon to be lame ducks. Or they have X in front of their title. And they even have that guy who was promoting the Russian hoax not that long ago. I was looking because I thought maybe they'd ask Joe Biden to speak. But we all know Joe Biden doesn't speak at anything. So they will go on, and we will too. And by the way, I don't know if you've noticed the Biden economy, but today the markets are once again tumbling, now down 4,000 points or more since January the 4th, the first real trading day of this year, when the market was at 36,800. Down more than 4,000 points. That's the Biden economy, ladies and gentlemen. And how do you think the Biden foreign policy is working out? Pray, please, pray for the people of Ukraine. Pray for the people of China. Pray for the people of North Korea and of Cuba and of Venezuela and of all those other despotic dictatorships around the world that try to choke out freedom and crush the human spirit. Because that is the antithesis of what we stand for, but that is what the radical left and the woke culture would have us all accept. I'm proud to stand before you today as the vice chairman of CPAC. My principal job as vice chairman is to check Matt Schlapp's blood pressure and pulse once a day and make sure that everything's okay, and he's doing great. He'll be out here in just a couple of minutes. I know you'll be delighted to see him. And in my spare time, I'm running for governor of Pennsylvania. Thank you. The first Latino to run for governor of Pennsylvania. A legal immigrant who once carried a green card and is proud to be a citizen by choice of the greatest nation in the history of the world. Thank you. So let me tell you just real quickly a little bit of my personal story. Because although I've lived in Pennsylvania almost all of my life, I wasn't born there. I was born in a slum in southern Brazil. My birth mother realized that she couldn't take care of me. And so she took me to a little mission and put me up for adoption. She asked the people at that mission for only one thing. She said, please, make sure that my baby goes to America, because she believed that in the greatest nation in the history of the world, I might have a chance to learn how to read. So when I talk about opportunity and freedom, you know that it comes from the depth of my heart and the bottom of my soul. Because the opportunities that we have and have been so blessed with in this great land, and the freedoms that are so necessary to pursue those opportunities, are at the core of what we all believe, why we're all here, and what we're doing. And let me just give you a little sequel to that story, which I haven't told too many times in public. When I first told that story, I instantly had a young reporter who I'm sure thought he was going to win the Pulitzer Prize that night run up to me and point his finger into my chest and say, "Why were you born in Brazil?" Now, this is the media, ladies and gentlemen. So I thought for a minute, and I said, well, I wanted to be close to my mother. And so you can imagine how I respond to the indoctrination of our kids in our schools and the nonsense of critical race theory and the 1619 movement and the other stuff to which so many kids are being subjected today. As a naturalized citizen, I had to take a test, a citizenship test. And it troubles me greatly that instead of getting back to basics and teaching civics, for example, that we have to see our kids indoctrinated with the stuff they're being spoon-fed on a daily basis. So many people across this country believe that we'd all be better off if we taught civics in our schools once again. I believe it goes a step further than that. How about if every kid graduating from an American public high school had to pass that basic citizenship test I had to pass? Wouldn't this country be a whole lot better off because we encouraged good citizenship, because we taught the Constitution, because we allowed young people to know what the difference is between federalism and the stuff that we're being fed these days? If they understood our tripartite system of government, if they understood checks and balances, if they understood separation of powers, wouldn't we be a lot better off with less low-information voters? And as I look at the quest for freedom, I'm always reminded of the immortal words of the right given to us by God, not by some earthly potentate or power, to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it begins with life. If we won't stand up and defend the most defenseless among us, for whom will we fight? And liberty, of course, is at the core of who we are and what we believe. Benjamin Franklin, another famous Pennsylvanian, once said, "Where liberty lives, there is my country." Where liberty lives, there is our country today. All of you are on the front line of the fight for individual liberty, for personal freedom, for less government, for more individual responsibility, for more opportunity, for more economic growth, for a future of prosperity for every American in every corner of this great country. And Ronald Reagan, for whom I was once privileged to work and as who you all know helped to kick off CPAC in the big way that it has become, once said, "As government expands, liberty contracts." As government expands, liberty contracts. And so you look at the woke, far-left, radical liberal culture today, who sees life as a series of problems to be addressed by big government and experts and elitists and those who think they know more than we do. And so you have people saying, well, parents shouldn't really have much say in their kids' education. You ought to be required to wear a mask everywhere you go, and you ought to be required to be vaccinated and have no choice in the matter whatsoever. You shouldn't be able to work. You ought to be able to take time off. And so what has been the result of all that? Well, we talked a little bit about the Biden economy. We talked a little bit about the Biden foreign policy. Who wouldn't rather have the policies and the programs and the results of Donald Trump and Ronald Reagan and the Republicans and conservatives that have made this country great? And so we're just beginning several days together of activism. This year is so vitally important. And let me say this about my friend Matt Schlapp just very quickly. He's going to join us in just a minute. Isn't it remarkable what under his leadership and the team that he has assembled and the staff that he has brought together, what CPAC has become because of all of you? Because we truly are in a battle for the heart and soul of this nation. Think about that. We cannot fail or flag. we must be victorious, because if we're not, we sacrifice the greatest nation that humankind has ever known. This is our moment. The 2022 elections will give us an opportunity to reject the big government, overreaching, arbitrary and capricious, lockdown, shutdown, mask mandate, this edict, that edict, slow growth, economic failure, foreign policy disasters, and it will give us a chance to go for a very different vision of our future, focused upon liberty, freedom, individual liberty, individual freedom, and the right to prosperity for every American through economic growth and through policies that will sustain a freedom-loving culture of Americans. We owe it to generations yet unborn to win this fight this year, to take back the House, to win a majority in the Senate, and to get ready to take back 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in 2024. This truly is the last best hope of mankind. You are the foot soldiers that will define the defense, promotion, protection of that shining city on a hill, which has been a citadel, a beacon of freedom and freedom-loving peoples the world over for all of our lifetimes. I look forward to joining you in that fight, because I know we are not alone. We will win this fight. We will preserve freedom. We will protect all of our liberties. We will promote them, and we will win with them. Thank you.
A message from Voter Safe House. Wouldn't it be nice to trust in every U.S. election? What if next time the winner of the presidential